Hey everybody, my name is Wyatt and I'm Ferda Tunes, and today we got another edition of my year-end list videos. Today we'll be diving into what I think are the best mixtapes and EPs of 2020. I'm gonna run through the first half of this list to make sure this video isn't 6 hours long, but as usual, I have some honorable mentions, so we'll run through that.
I also just wanted to take this time to tell you, oh, see, there it is, that Pup EP. I feel stupid, I really should have put that on the list.
At number 30, I have a tie. I don't have any more of these, I promise, I just couldn't decide. But at number 30, we have the unfortunately underwhelming, but still very solid Light Pack by Joey Badass, tied with... Man, y'all know Wiz Khalifa had to give us something to smoke to during quarantine, right? At number 29, I have the very hard-hitting Napalm EP by Getter, followed by Fletcher's debut, I believe, the Sex Tapes. Little dope pop tracks. At number 27, I have No One Mourns the Wicked by Conway the Machine and Big Ghost. Probably Conway's most in-your-face project this year. Real hard hitter. At number 26, I have the endlessly talented UK rapper Little Simz with Drop 6 EP. And next up is the emotionally potent and sort of holiday-themed Phoebe Bridgers EP, If We Make It to December. At number 24, I have The Circus by Mick Jenkins, followed by Sugar by Megan Thee Stallion. She had a killer year for music this year, and this was really just the start of it. At number 22, I have No Ceilings 3 by Lil Wayne. I felt like I kind of had to. Followed by the experimental, abstract, hip-hop tape, the Slauson Malone EP. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that shit. At number 20, Meyhem, Loren, and Harry Fraud teamed up once again to give us another collab tape, Glass 2.0. At number 19, we got Sound Expansion Meditation by Harrison BDP. Not his best out of his whole calming, relaxing, kind of meditative house music, but he doesn't miss, for real. At number 18, I got Boldy James' Griselda debut, the Versace tape. Its minimalism didn't work for some people, but Boldy's lyricism was more than enough to keep me entranced, and those sample loops were very tasty. Number 17 is Jaguar by Victoria Monet. Some of the sexiest songs of the year by far, with some really fancy production in some moments that really added a nice touch to it musically. At number 16, XXL freshman CHIKA came to impress and showed off some pretty impressive versatility for her first project, Industry Games. It wasn't mind-blowing, but it was more than impressive enough to get me just... I can't even tell you how excited I am to hear what she does next. At number 15, Uchis dropped a bit of a leftovers, kind of extras EP, To Feel Alive. And god, these 4 tracks, they kind of came and went in the whole grand scheme of the music scene, but man, they stuck with me for just feeling almost effortless from Cali, but just still being unique from track to track. This EP just being extras or leftovers or whatever just shows how immensely talented she really is. At number 14, we got another Harry Fraud collab with another rapper, Curren. This one just felt tighter to me. Their chemistry really pulls it off. Curren can kind of work with anybody. Just that shit to smoke to, you know, is... is good shit. Shout out to the director's cut too. They just kept dropping heat this year. Number 13, I want to apologize in advance because I know I'm gonna have a terrible white ass mispronunciation of this name. Obongjayar? Obongjayar. I'm sorry. Which Way is the EP, and wow, just really impressive. Like Afrobeat, hip hop, stuff that I'm not even really sure what to label, or I don't feel comfortable labeling it. Number 12 is Everything You Need EP by Overmono. Just a real tight, dancey, low-key electronic EP. Number 11, one of the most important rap mixtapes of the year by far for me, Meet the Woo. Meet the Woo, Volume 2. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Cannot say that enough. Jesus Christ, the potential was oozing out of this mixtape, man. I really think if Pop Smoke had the chance to do Meet the Woo Volume 3, the fucking glaciers would have melted when he dropped that shit. It's just heat. Really, the potential was just too big to not have this at such a high spot. Followed by number 10 is Show Pony by Orville Peck. I didn't think this was gonna make it so high on this list, not even close to top 10 the first time I listened to it, but the more listens I gave to it, the more I just realized how serene and almost heavy on the ears it is, in a great way, obviously. His vocals are magnificently rich, they feel like. And the standout tracks here, stand the fuck out. They're great. The first track, Summertime, the track with Shania Twain, crazy. I cannot wait for his next album, and I really think it has the potential to be one of the best country albums in some years. At number 9, we got Ambience, an EP by Pasocom Music Club. A very good friend of mine just kind of dropped this in my lap a few days ago, and God, can't thank you enough. You know who you are, you sexy motherfucker. It's called Ambience, but it is far from ambient music. There's definitely some elements into it, but it feels more house, maybe down-tempo. I am terrible with electronic subgenres and labeling them and stuff like that. It's a half hour of just pure dance bliss. Number 8, we got A Bridge to Quiet by Animal Collective, one of my favorite bands and one of the most experimental bands of all time. Yeah, it's definitely safe to say that at this point. They dropped a surprisingly very refreshing EP that almost feels like a blend of a lot of different sounds they've used throughout their massive discography, and it ended up just kind of feeling like one for the fans, but me being such a fan, I could not get enough of it, especially the first and the last track. Beautiful shit, and really nothing else I could ask from the band at this point. At number 7, I got the JPEGMAFIA EP. Peggy would not stop feeding us this year, just dropping Lucy single after Lucy single, but putting them all into an EP near the end of the year was just such a great idea, because I think the majority of these tracks are just perfect displays or examples of just why his music is so intriguing and interesting for some people. He is fucking sick, and I really think his next album is gonna be something crazy special. At number 6, we got Dinner Party. Masterminds and legends in jazz and hip-hop alike come together for just a real short and sweet, very succulent and groovy set of tracks. Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin, Ninth Wonder, and Kamasi Washington. Those last two I'm big fans of, so that was more than enough for me to listen to this quite a few times, but it definitely stuck with me, and I wouldn't miss this one at all. Moving into the top 5, we got Exeter by Bladee. Bladee comes through with a very short, sweet, and extremely colorful tape that just ends up being one of his tightest projects. This was my big introduction to Bladee, or at least as a full project-wise, and if you're one of those people that's just sitting there just thinking like, what the fuck, like what, like I just lost all your credibility because I picked Bladee, just give us another chance. And honestly, I would try out this EP, at least a little bit of it. It's just so undeniably unique and colorful and odd. At number 4, we got Flo Milli shit. Ho, why is you here? Flo Milli really made her mark on me this year, and I listened to her tape just off a fluke. I'm like, it could be dope. And wow. At first glance, this tape might just feel like a dope trap tape with some bad bitch anthems tossed in there. But this thing is a banger fest. Like, slap after slap, she does not miss once for me. And she just brings so much energy and personality and hard-hitting moments to the tape that just flaunts her confidence effortlessly. The whole tape feels like a confidence boost, and if she stays on this track, I really think Flo Milli is going to be a force to be reckoned with in hip-hop. At number 3, we got Conway the Machine yet again, this time with my producer of the year, The Alchemist, Lulu. Lulu, my god, what a tape. There isn't too much to say about this tape. They just kind of bring out the best in each other, and it's just a really tight rap EP. Conway the Machine is my rap MVP of the year, and Alchemist oh my god, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Honestly, like one of the tightest Griselda releases this year, and if you know, they dropped a shit ton of projects this year, and this one just really stuck with me. At number 2, I got TKAY Maidza, Last Year Was Weird, Volume 2. I had not heard of this artist in the slightest before this year, but what a fucking introduction. This tape is the absolute definition of versatility. Seriously, if you only listen to 1 or 2 tracks off this tape, you have no clue what you're missing out on. This extremely tight track list just begs to be put on repeat. Seriously, just going from song to song, you see how much she absolutely crushes whatever sound she's going into, and each song off of this tape really is a different genre almost. I cannot recommend this enough. Seriously, if you're gonna listen to one mixtape this year, make this it. And do not skip a track. Don't sleep on TKAY, bottom line. I swear, if she keeps on going with this streak and tops this tape, she could be one of the biggest stars of the decade, or one of the most unfortunately underrated. But the talent and the versatility is a fireworks show on this mixtape. My number one spot was a real tough one to pick. Honestly, TKAY Maidza's tape that I just talked about was at this spot for quite a while, but recently I gotta give it to Boldy James and Sterling Tolls for Manger at McNichols. So from what I know about Manger on McNichols, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is this tape has been in the works since 2007, and even Boldy James recorded vocals way back then, and Sterling Tolls, the producer, just spent years building this ensemble and all these different compositions around these vocals. He built up the production to be very jazzy and quite experimental, and it really comes off as spacious and rich and luxurious, but also very dark and menacing and claustrophobic at times. Boldy James helps a lot with that, with his just cutthroat bars that they kind of come out of nowhere. Sitting with this tape on front to back really feels like you're just immersed in an old school mafia or gangster movie. But one of those ones that's just entirely focused on the brooding darkness and negative of those kind of situations. It gets insanely heavy and even almost hard to listen to at sometimes, just with the stories that Boldy is telling. They're traumatic. Especially if you're not in the mood for it, this can be a scary fucking album almost, but it's just so masterfully put together. If they genuinely took over a decade to put this whole thing together, I cannot applaud them enough, because it really comes off like that. You can really hear, it's not hard to hear at least, how much meticulous care and time went into these compositions. And throughout this whole year, Boldy James has been killing it. He came very close to getting my rap MVP of the year title. But on this thing, like, seriously, some of the most impressive rapping I've heard in years. This thing is an unbelievably potent, detailed, cinematic masterpiece. I can't say that word enough. I really think this has the potential to become a very strong underground classic in the next few years. Any gangster rap fans, experimental rap fans, jazz rap fans, abstract, whatever the fuck you want to call it, man, give this tape a full listen and really, like, get ready for it, man. I listened to this shit for the first time as the sun was going down. I went for a walk by my waterfront here, and motherfucker, by the end of it, I was ready to just fucking knock anyone that came near me. I was just on edge, bro. Like, I ain't a violent person at all. But man, like, man. And that is it for this year-end list. Next up, I'll be doing the top 50 best singles of the year. So look out for that one before I get to the big one. But I really hope you guys are enjoying these. These lists took so much time and stress and effort, more than you can even imagine. I can't make a decision, man. I just can't. Especially when it comes to good music. I want to geek over it all, you know? So thank you so much for watching again, and just look out for those next year-end list videos. I love doing these, man. So as usual, all the links are in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, come talk some shit with me. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned, and much love. Take care. No, I'm a con creature, like I'm staring at Medusa.